businessman from Queens, New York, he took charge of his family's real estate business, which built or renovated skyscrapers, hotels, casinos, and golf courses. He later owned the Miss Universe brand of beauty pageants, and for 12 years hosted and produced The Apprentice, a reality TV series. He had considered entering politics sporadically throughout his career and finally entered the Republican primaries. He was unexpectedly victorious in both securing the nomination and then in defeating Hillary Clinton to win the White House, becoming the only president with no prior government or military experience. In his time in office, he largely focused on brokering trade deals and enforcing restrictions on illegal immigration. He has pursued an American First policy in foreign affairs, withdrawing the U.S. from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the Paris Agreement on Climate Change, and the Iran nuclear deal. He enacted tax cuts for individuals and businesses and recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. He survived an impeachment trial which was engineered by the Democratic House without bipartisan support. He is our nation's 45th chief executive, Donald J. Trump. Let's take a look on a map at the area around New York City and some sites associated with Donald J. Trump. Trump was born in 1946 at Jamaica Hospital in Queens, which is in this general area here. And interestingly, 1946 is the only year in American history in which 3 presidents were born. And not only that, they were born within a period of about 2.5 months. Donald Trump was born in June of that year, George W. Bush in July, and Bill Clinton in August. Now, the house where Trump lived as a child in Queens is not very far from there, right about in this general area. And that house is still there. It is a private residence today. If we move over to Manhattan, this is the approximate location of Trump Tower, the famous Trump Tower, and President Trump still maintains a residence there today. Let's take a look at one other map. This is a map of the state of Florida, and if we look at the Palm Beach area right around here, that's the approximate location of the Mar-a-Lago estate and resort owned by President Trump. And that place actually has a very interesting history. It was owned by the socialite and cereal company heiress Marjorie Meriwether Post for more than 50 years. And when she died in 1973, she left it to the National Park Service with the hope that it could be used as a winter White House and for state visits. But for a variety of reasons, they ended up turning it back over to her foundation, and it was eventually sold. And of course, it was purchased by Donald Trump. So things came full circle when Trump became president, and there have indeed been visits to that estate by foreign leaders, and it certainly serves as the winter White House for Donald Trump. Now let's take a look at some photographs of these locations. Let's take a look at some books in my library relating to Donald J. Trump. This is a book by Roger Stone, the political consultant and strategist who has worked on a number of campaigns and certainly was instrumental in President Trump's campaign. It's called The Making of the President 2016, How Donald Trump Orchestrated a Revolution. Here's a good book by Newt Gingrich, which was published in 2018. It's called Trump's America: The Truth About Our Nation's Great Comeback. And it covers a number of things that the Trump administration had done up to that point and a number of issues that were important to the president and the Trump campaign. This is a very interesting book published in 2018 about the 2016 election. It's called The Great Revolt: Inside the Populist Coalition, Reshaping American Politics. It's by Selena Zito and Brad Todd. And those are two journalists who really focus on the coalition that President Trump put together in the 2016 election, including some groups that had traditionally voted Democratic. And they went and interviewed people in swing states. And so they profiled different Trump voters and find that many of them had voted Democratic before, and many of them had never voted before or hadn't voted in many years. So it's an interesting case study of the coalition of blue-collar voters primarily in the swing states, which helped Donald Trump carry the 2016 election. This is an interesting book on American politics from the period beginning about 2008 and up through the first couple of years of the Trump presidency. It was published in 2019. It's by Tim Alberta, and it's called American Carnage: On the Front Lines of the Republican Civil War and the Rise of President Trump. It's an interesting book. All of the great figures of American politics in that period appear in the book, from President Obama to John Boehner, Mitch McConnell, Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi. It's quite an interesting read. And this book was also published in 2019. It's called The United States of Trump: How the President Really Sees America. It's by Bill O'Reilly. And Bill O'Reilly sat down with President Trump and interviewed him for this book. And it covers a lot of Trump's life prior to his presidency and his thinking on a number of issues and events of his presidency. Well, this concludes our series on American presidents, places to visit and books to read. I haven't shown you all of my books, so there may be future episodes. In the meantime, if there's something specific that you're interested in or want to see, please leave comments to that effect. Thank you for watching.